wants this if anyone wants this particular recording, can ask after the class. Yeah, basically I will provide this in our education group. Yeah, for those who are not actually in the education group, I will provide you the link so that you will be able to actually download this particular video after this particular session. And at the same time, if possible, I'll try to upload it on the YouTube as well, and then I will actually share to every one of you. Okay, so first and foremostly, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share my screen. Okay, welcome Fazrin. So as you're able to see over here, yeah, as you're able to see here on my screen basically. Okay, so we are actually looking at 9th of January, yeah, which is a very important day for us today. Okay, and it's also my mom's birthday actually. So okay, 9th January. So as you are able to see, we do not have any strong specific news basically. Yeah, we do not have any strong specific news which is actually related to US dollar basically, because the trading pair that we are looking at, or a trading metal that we are actually looking at, is basically we are looking at gold. So we want to trade gold, which means that we will have to focus on US dollar. As we are able to see for 9 January, we do not have any news here for scheduled news here, for scheduled news for US dollar. Okay. So does this means that basically we don't have any news for today or something? Well, the answer is no. Yeah? We do have news actually where we can look into. Yeah. If let's say we don't have any news over here, which means that we will have to use the investing.com in order to see what are the news that we have. As you are able to see here, okay, I always use for XAU/USD, yeah, gold spot US dollar, where you can just click in and you will be able to come to this particular page. Okay. And if you scroll down, basically, you will be able to see there are 3 news. Ya. Sini ada 3 news. Ya. Jadi selalunya orang tanya saya, news-news mana yang penting di dalam market. Ya. What is the most important news? Ya? Basically, 2 to 3 news over here will actually give you the important updates about what is actually happening in the market. Ya. Sini adalah news-news yang penting. Ya. 3 news ini. Okay. So if you scroll down a little bit up, you'll be able to see a technical chart over here, which you are able to see also that there are several news over here. Yeah? Gold prices rise to 7-month high as hawkish Fed fears app. And you can see what actually happens here, where you can see there is an increase of the price up to 1878.44 currently. Okay. So these are all the news that are very, very important for us to look into. Yeah, because this news at investing.com is basically providing you the news which is happening currently, and at the same time what is going to happen. Okay, so if you want to know what would be happening basically, or what are the important news basically, it's very important for you to look at this particular news. Yeah, basically. Yeah, so I always talk about 3 things here. First thing is schedule news, which I definitely see in Forex Factory, as you're able to see here. Secondly, I will always go for the current news. Yeah, current news, which is I will always see in the investing.com. Okay, because this particular current news will also consist of the scheduled news at times, and also will consist of core incident news. Okay, core incident news is something that happens suddenly. There's something that we cannot predict. Yeah. So this is something that will happen suddenly, yeah, which is able to actually change the direction of the market. So it's very important for us to basically look at this news step by step, so that we will be able to actually know what would be the trend basically. And what we are doing is basically we are trying our level best in order to see the news every day, which means that we are focusing more towards the intraday trend. Yeah. So if you have a long-term trend, which means that you can actually focus towards, towards, if you know that the day is actually focusing more towards bullish, so which means that you can focus more towards buy, no matter wherever that you are actually going with your entry. Is just that you have to be very careful and ensure that you have enough equity basically, yeah, in the market. So first and foremostly, without actually wasting more time, I will actually be going with the gold prices rise 7 months as hawkish Fed fears EBB. Yeah? Okay, so as we know, actually gold prices has basically rises. Yeah, We can see very clearly over here as well. Okay. Okay, hawkish fat, yeah, fierce EBB. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this quite deeply actually. Yeah. Maybe some of you think that that here most of the news here is actually very long to read. But let me make it simpler for you, because what happens here is that all the fundamental analysis, yeah, that you need to know, or all the fundamental factors, yeah, that will actually affect the market is already here. Yeah, which means that you don't have to actually open a bar chart, you don't have to open a line chart, you don't have to open a histogram, and so many others, yeah, interactive chart and so many. So this actually saves you time if you just understand the news, basically, where they already provide you what are the technical summary, what are the spot goal, and so many other things. Okay, all right. For those of you who are new, so that's why I'm actually explaining more detail. Yeah, but for those of you who follows me every day, so basically, yeah. So like all this actually, because I'm repeating almost the same thing every day. Yeah. So gold prices rose on Monday, sticking to a 7-month high after signs of cooling. Job markets push up expectation for a softer US inflation reading this week, and eventual turn in the Federal Reserve hawkish rhetoric. So as we understand last week, if you look at particularly last week, okay, which I will explain to you, last week, on the 6th of January, we have so many, we have USD average hourly earning, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. As you are able to see, the news over here is very much related to whatever that actually happens last week. Yeah. So as you can see, the jobs market, the jobs market has actually coolen, which is about 3.5%. Yeah, which is about 3.5%. Okay, so eventually you can see that this actually helps the Federal Reserve to actually reduce their um, reduce their interest rate, basically, and not increasing it to a higher interest rate, basically. Okay, and also we can see prices of yellow metal surges on Friday after data from Labor Department shows that US non-farm payrolls grew at their slowest pace in a year in December. Okay, and if we can really see what is actually most important right now, focus now turns to US consumer price index inflation data on Thursday for more cues on part of US interest rate. Okay, they already give you what is needed. They already give you what is needed in order for you to actually see in the market. Dia dah bagi apa yang anda perlukan, anda perlu tengok specifically untuk anda tahu trend di dalam market sebenarnya. So jadi kalau anda tahu US price index inflation data ni on Thursday ni, kalau anda tekan dekat sini je, anda dah tahu forecast adalah 6.5%, sini adalah 7.1. So 6.5% is very less than 7.1. As we have understood based on the past data, we have always understood when the CPI is lower, which means that US dollar will definitely go lower. Basically, that is how the correlation basically happens. Because the amount of spending that happens in US basically would be really less actually. Yeah. So this is what actually they are actually telling us lah. So we want to ensure that we are able to actually know what will happen basically, so that we can prepare right now. Yeah. So people usually kalau kita ikut sentiment basically, if we know something is going to happen, and it's going to happen in that particular direction, which means that right now itself we would react to it. Yeah, it is very much in the human nature to basically do that. Yeah. So which means that as we can see, the US dollar has dropped for such a long time, and there are many analysts who actually also forecasted that many of their readings are actually below from their previous one. As we can see, one of it is from the CPI, which is the consumer price index. Okay, so other than that, these rate hikes swelled gold prices last year as they pushed up the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets. But the yellow metals saw a resurgence in the interest rate over the past month, with safe haven demand also coming back into play amid fears of a potential recession in 2023. As we all know, basically, 2023 is definitely a time for recession. Yeah, so this is something very, how to say, it's very common. Yeah, very, very common. So if we go to the next fundamental factors, as we can see, Fed is now expected to further slow its pace of interest rate hikes with a majority of trader pricing in an only 25 basis point hike in February. But the central bank has warned it could keep the rates higher for longer. As we can see over here, that it's already clearly stated that they are actually going to actually only rise it about 25 basis point in February, yeah? But they have warned, yeah, that it's likely they can keep it higher for a longer time. So which means that it will cause confusion, yeah, to the investor whether the interest rate is going to go high or whether the interest rate is going down. What is most importantly is that we don't want uncertainty, yeah. But based on previously, as we look at the previous year, yeah, as many uncertainty has basically happened, and where investors basically change their direction from gold to US dollar, basically, yeah, when they are actually saying that, they are not sure about whether they will actually increase the hike, yeah, whether they will actually increase the interest rate or not, basically. And also at times also we can see that even though, yeah, at times, this kind of confusion do happens. Basically, investors has always supported towards US dollar. Okay, so maybe we are likely to see what is going to happen, but for now, actually, as we can see based on this news, yeah, it is still actually helping towards gold because copper prices retreated slightly on Monday, but hovered near a 7-month high after optimism over reopening of China international border triggered a sharp rally in the red metal. So as we can see for the copper, as China is one of the biggest copper importer in the world, yeah. So whatever that happens to copper indirectly actually affects the gold price as well. Basically, yeah, it does affect the gold price as well. So there is a correlation between both of them. So as we can see, if China is basically opening their borders, okay, this means that there is a more demand, yeah, for gold as well, yeah. So which means that it also helps for gold to actually increase, yeah, to increase, yeah, in terms of its strength, yeah. So prices of red metal shot up after China further eased their anti-COVID measures in this month. A move for markets hope will trigger a quick economic rebound in the world's largest copper importer. So as we are able to see over here, very important for us to understand first and foremostly is that uh, we can see that that the Fed is actually not increasing much of the interest rate. Okay, they are more focusing towards 25 basis point only in February, but they have warned that there are possibility that they could actually increase, yeah, they could increase the interest rate, but for a higher period of time, yeah. That means basically it can continuous, yeah. It can be continuous, basically, yeah. That's the first point that we get, yeah, for a fundamental factor. But however, as we understand, that is not very convincing, which means that it is more supporting towards the goal. Okay. Secondly, as we are able to see, okay, as we understand from here, is that we understand that actually, okay, the US here, 10-year treasury yield has also drifted lower. Okay, that means treasury yield means keuntungan, ya. Keuntungan negara itu sebenarnya juga jatuh, okay, juga jatuh, okay. So which means that this is also actually helping, yeah, towards US dollar actually dropping as well. Okay. Okay, let's see what other things that we have. Thirdly, we can see over reopening of China international borders triggered a sharp rally in the red metal, which also actually helps in the increase of the China, how to say, increase of the gold prices, basically, yeah. Okay, increase of the gold prices as well. Let me know if, let's say, you are confused or anything, because what will happen is that I can explain it once again here. Most importantly is to understand what is the fundamental factors, yeah, what is the fundamental factors that you can get from the latest news, yeah. Okay, from the latest news, this is very, very important. You don't have to read everything, you just have to find out what is the fundamental factors that will actually give you the trend for what is going to happen. Okay, so that's first, yeah, that's first. Okay, but I want to take you to the previous news as well, so that you will be able to see what actually happened before this particular news. Okay, so as we understand here, this was actually the previous news that happened. But this news, if you see for weekly review and outlook, Basically, this news is basically telling you about what actually happened last week and what is the outlook or what is the outcome, yeah, of the market basically. Yeah, this is also good for us to see because one of the reasons we would be able to be more will be more alert of what's happening in the market. So if you see, China has kicked off the year by buying a large quantities of oil. Okay, large quantity of oil. They bought oil despite of its very COVID situation. But before bulls in the market get excited again at the prospect of $100 per barrel, yeah, the Chinese action seems geared more towards storing crude, okay, more towards storing crude than buying it for the immediate use. Okay, there is something to understand over here, yeah. Okay, storing means that means you are not actually using it, yeah. That means you just buy, okay, and then you just store it. Okay, you buy it and then you just store it basically. Okay, welcome Shakib. Yeah. If there's anything, if you feel that there's some issue for you to understand my language, I will be using Dui language here, which means I can speak in Malay and at the same time I can also speak in English as well. Okay, so as you understand, when they're buying oil basically, and they're just storing it, which means that they are not using it. Yeah, when they are not using it, which means that we understand. Yeah, what are they actually trying to do? Yeah, so of course, because they want to increase the demand. Yeah, automatically we can know when we have all the how to say, when we have the inventories with us, okay, but we don't want to sell it, yeah, or we are not using it basically, so which means that we want to increase the demand. Okay, that's something, yeah, that we have to look into. Okay, in the energy universe, storage is a dirty word, okay, that tends to depress rather than lift prices. Okay. Okay, all right, okay. So China has also increased export quotas for refined oil products in the first batch for 2023, signaling expectation of poor domestic demand. Okay, so as you can see, that he has actually increased the exports quota. Okay, and also the signal for expectations for poor domestic demand. Yeah? It's focused on the international market as independent refiners in the country see higher profits from processing Russian oil made cheaper by the day by Western sanctions on Moscow that gives the Chinese leverage to negotiate for steeper discount. As we know, the European Union has basically has actually placed here the sanction towards Russia, yeah, due to the Ukraine invasion. Okay, so as we understand, Russian oil is actually being kept at $60 per barrel. As you can see over here, $60 per barrel, which is really very low from the market, how to say, from the market value actually. So, but there were some stories that they will actually likely to actually reduce it more. But however, European Union is afraid to actually do that more because likely Russia would actually cut all the energy and also the supply for the oil to European Union. So as we are able to see, as we're able to see over here, this means that actually when China actually buys all this oil and keep it to himself here, which means that of course that this will definitely actually make the prices, the prices of oil basically increase more. Yeah, as we can see also, other than that, there are so many fundamental factors that we can look into. We can see Saudi Arabia Aramco, okay, of the company and slash selling price, okay, and it was a calculated move to keep Saudi barrels attractive amid persistent discounting of Russian oil after the G7 cap of $60 per barrel on seaborne Russian crude. Okay. So China was reported on Friday to have bought 5 million barrels of mostly Kazakh crude for collection from a port in the Black Sea next month, yeah? According to traders cited in Bloomberg. Okay, so they have bought about 5 million barrels. Okay, that's a lot. Yeah? And the purchase matters because Kazakh oil has been a preserve of the European refiners. Okay, as we understand, this is very much of a military tactic basically. Yeah. So when Russia do not have much in order to actually supply to the European Union, which means that of course, yeah, the European Union will fall by itself. Yeah. So we can see that actually because this is actually the fight, yeah, the fight between the Russia and also the European Union. And we know that China is one of the ally to Russia as well, okay, as well as Arab Saudi as well. Yeah. So they all actually have they have their own gang towards another gang, which they are actually fighting economically. Yeah. So it's very important when one party actually tries to do something in the market, okay, this will affect each other. Yeah. So this is one of the military tactic that is being used. Okay. So, well, as you can see, yeah, they also bought 2 million barrels of crude from Norway, Johan, yeah, Swedab oil field for January loading. Yeah. Okay. So demand for oil in China typically rises every year after the Lunar New Year. As we know, the Chinese New Year is coming for Lunar New Year. And this, of course, the demand for oil will increase. Yeah. Okay. Which is also one of the fundamental factors that we have to look into. Okay. So we can see that, it's very much related to China, what China is basically doing. And we can see that China is also opening its borders. And it's likely that it's very much clear to us that that gold is basically rising, and it's all due to what China is doing currently, yeah, which we can see over here. So as we understand, even this current news itself is already saying that the gold prices has rises as well. Yeah. So for now, actually, we are looking more towards these two particular news. Yeah. These two particular news over here. Okay. So if let's say you want to look at another news, also it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Juga adalah okay sebenarnya. Yeah. But I think even if you go with the two first news itself, you would know actually what already the trend is basically. So as we understand from here, we do not have anything that is actually supporting more towards the US trend. Yeah? And at the same time, we do not have any scheduled news as well, which is supporting more towards the US trend as well. So as per our understanding, based on the Forex factory that we are seeing, yeah, we can see that actually, yeah, starting from the Friday, January, yeah, okay, we can see that average earning, hourly earning has also actually dropped for the US. Okay, it was a leading indicator. Okay, as I always say, for leading indicator, the impact is about 6 months to 12 months for the for the short term, and for long term is basically 12 months to 24 months. Okay, so why is this? Where can we find this? Is actually we can find this at Y Traders Care leading indicator. It's very important basically. So if anyone doesn't know this particular leading indicator, if you go against it, so what will happen is that it's likely to actually drain many accounts as well. Yeah, so this is where actually technical analysis actually gets in null at times. Okay, so non-farm employment change, as we can see, okay, 223, which is very good. This is also an important leading indicator. As we can see from here, okay, we know that the price of US dollar will actually definitely drop. Okay, and from here there was a rise here of the US dollar. So when we go back to the unemployment rate, there was a rise as well during this period of time, lagging indicator, which also have the same impact of about 6 to 12 months. Okay, and for the long term, it's 12 months to 24 months. Okay, so we go for this one, it automatically comes down again. Automatically comes down again because it's actually lower compared to the previous one. Okay, or at about 49.6. As we know, the market was actually very volatile. Okay, the market is very volatile due to the scheduled news, which usually happens at the night. Yeah, but however, usually decision making has already been taken earlier. Yeah, so when we know something is going to happen, of course we would actually prepare earlier about what is actually going on. Yeah, and usually these leading indicators basically carries a very strong impact because it happens on Friday, and as we can see on Monday itself, we do not have any particular leading or lagging indicator or any coincident news that can actually break the previous trend from last week, which means the trend will definitely be continuous for the Monday as well. For those of you who wants to ask about coincident news, coincident news is something that happens suddenly. Maybe we already plan, like, everything is going bullish for today, for example. Suddenly something will come up. We do not know what kind of news that will come up. So the only best way that we can do is basically go at news at the top here. Pergi kat news kat atas ni. Okay, tekan tu, anda akan lihat kepada latest news. Okay, at least try to see news which is at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour news. Okay, so when you look at this particular news, there is a lot. There's really a lot for you to go with. Okay, so kindly do not go with all of it. Yeah, what you can do is that only focus on the pairs, currency pairs yang anda trade. Yeah, only focus on the currency pairs that you trade, or focus on the metal that you are basically trading basically. Yeah. Okay, like for example, the metal that you're trading, for example, if you're trading for gold, then look for US dollar. Anywhere that you see related to US dollar, yeah. For example, you see this is related to GBP USD. Okay, you can read as well, yeah. Okay, maybe you can see, okay, falling US yield still the dollar recovery. Okay, you can see this as well. Okay, so this was about 6 hours ago. So if you are able to see all these particular news as well, so somehow you will also get some indication about what is actually happening in the market. Yeah. So I'm actually showing you in terms of the theory. Yeah, in terms of the theory of what basically happens in the market. Yeah. Because we want to ensure that wherever we enter in the market, we will end up profitable. Yeah. But in order to do that, we must understand what is our trend. Yeah, we have to really understand what is our trend basically. So that's why actually it's very important for us to know our schedule news. It's very important to know what is happening currently and what will happen. And at the same time, we have to focus on core incident news. These are basically the steps about how we can go for our fundamental analysis. Yeah. So for this actually, that's how actually, so I already know that my trend is more towards bullish. So looking at my fundamental range, okay, I always speak about fundamental range. So what is fundamental range basically? Fundamental range is basically the range, okay, that we can trade. Yeah? We can trade based on fundamental. So as I can take you over here, please bear with me. Okay. It doesn't matter. I can open another one also, but I just choose not to. Just okay, I'll just go here. So as you are able to see, usually most of the fundamental range you will be able to see here. Okay, as you can see here now is 1865.97 to 1879.51. Why do I call this as a fundamental range? The reason why I call this as a fundamental range because this is the range that it has actually crossed. And the good thing about this particular range is that it always come back and retrace at this particular range as well. But however, if you are a bit, if you want to actually have more better range, if you would like to have more better range, as I always share, you can always go to historical data. Okay. You can always go to historical data. Just click on the historical data. Okay. As you scroll down, basically, you will be able to see related to daily, weekly, and also monthly, basically. So very important first and foremostly is to understand something which is called as the moving average. Okay. So like me, basically what I do is that I use the moving average of 5, or I call it also as the frequency number 5. Okay. So what you do is that we always focus on the open and also we focus on the high. Why we focus on the open? Kenapa kita focus atas open is because that's the opening price of the day and that is the high price of that particular day itself. So what you can do is that you take five numbers from the open and then you divide it by 5 and you take 5 from the high and also you divide it by 5. So you will get the average basically for the today actually. But however, to make things easier for you, you can actually see on your days range itself. That itself will be very, very helpful already actually. Okay. So other than that, if let's say you take more than 5, for example, you take 7, you take 10, you take 100, for example. Okay, we don't have 100, but if in case you take it, but you still divide it by 5. Why you divide it by 5? Because that is actually the minimum value, okay, or the frequency number. Usually that particular frequency number give you the efficiency, which actually give you the higher probability of the price being at. If you actually calculate it something which is much more higher, which actually gives you a very small probability of where the price would be. So that is the reason why we actually use the frequency number 5 basically, or the moving average 5. Okay. So I'm actually done. I'm really done actually. So speaking about range, in case if you really feel like for example, if you are trading and everything, so you do not know, you're not sure where to enter or where to close basically. So when you know that this is the particular range, yeah, what you can do is that you just trade between this range. Yeah, you can trade between this range itself. But only thing you have to know is that you have to see your current market. You have to understand where is the price. Make sure that the price is not above this particular range, and make sure that the price is not below this particular range. Okay. And other than that, also it's very important. Okay, when you're trading, you know what is the trend. Yeah, because if you don't know what is the trend and you go opposite with the trend, so what happens is that you will definitely lose in the market. Yeah, so it's very important to actually know what is the trend. Sometimes retracement can help. Yeah, sometimes retracement can help, but however, based it with some how to say, with some technical analysis as well. Okay, so I'm actually done for fundamental analysis. So my prediction for today is that gold will still rise up, okay, because we have 1879.51, which is quite high actually, and there's possibility that it can go much more higher, okay, based on all the fundamental factors that we have and basically speak about. So is there any question basically from anyone? Is there any particular question? Do you feel that you know that it is a bit difficult or something basically to understand? Yeah, this method is actually being simplified for the fundamental analysis. Yeah, because I do understand. Yeah, when we look at schedule news, okay, when we look at schedule news, basically we don't understand what's going on. Because if we look at 9th January, we look at schedule news, for example, if we have rate something here and it's US dollar. So basically we only focus at that particular time. Okay. But we have to understand also that when people know that, you know, that the price is going to go up, usually what people do, people with bigger equities, basically they are not worried if they know what the news is going to do. Yeah. Usually they will actually somehow, if they put it much more earlier, which means that it can increase their probability of actually getting more profit when the news comes out. Okay, so this is where actually they use the method in order to treat the news. At the same time, if they have some technical analysis experience, which means they can find the proper entry, yeah, and then they can treat in the direction of the news as well. Yeah, so that's why it's you know, it's very important for us to look at the schedule news. And for coincident news, basically, why is it as coincident news is very important? Because coincident news is something like, you know, we don't need anything to actually disrupt the direction, yeah, of the market. So for example, yeah, suddenly something comes up, you know, and it says that you know, that gold would not rise up, or maybe the Federal Reserve said, yeah, suddenly, yeah, that they would actually increase their interest rate from 25 basis point to 60 basis point, for example, yeah, okay, or 75 basis point, for example. That is something that is very shocking. Yeah, that is something that is very shocking, yeah, in the category of shocking. So when that is something in the category of shocking, and when it happens, so what will happen is that, you know, the reversal would happen. So when the reversal happens, what happens is that the gold is likely to drop down. Yeah, it's likely to drop down. So these are things that actually, you know, that we are trying our best, level best, in order to avoid. Yeah. And one more thing is that if you learn how to actually see based on your coincident news as well, you would actually be able to actually also save yourself. Because sometimes we do not know how long, yeah, the reversal would happen. So if you know that, this coincident news is not supporting, yeah, is not supporting towards your particular trend, then it is very much better to actually close your trade. Yeah, it's very much better for you to close your trade. If you are in profit at the time, which is very good, but in case if you are already in loss, then I would suggest you still to close it, because it's better to lose a little than compared to actually lose a lot of your equity. Yeah, which is something that we really don't want to actually happen to us. Yeah. Okay. So first and foremostly, I want to ask to all of you, if you have any particular question for me, ya, kalau ada sebarang soalan kepada saya, sila tanya, ya, because I will be how to say, I will be heading to technical analysis in case if let's say there is no particularly news, I mean if there is no particularly question from all of you. Is there any questions? Okay. I'll try today to actually see based on the trading here. Basically, we'll try to trade as well today. Do not worry much, okay? We'll try to actually place our trade for today. So as we are actually focusing on XAU USD, right? Okay, so we'll go together, not to worry, but first and foremostly, what we'll do is that we'll try to see what is our trading for today. For today, I'm not going to speak about intraday. I'll try to find a signal basically for us to, for us to trade today. So basically, when you come for today's class, so basically a signal is already given. And I'm doing this analysis with all of you. Okay, if you feel that you know that this analysis is not a proper analysis or something, or you feel that there can be a more improvement to this analysis, I would gladly accept that. Okay, so currently I'm not unmuting all of you, so you all are free. You all can feel free to actually open up and also discuss with me as well. Okay, because I want to make this as a as a place that that we all can collaborate, and also we can find best entries based on our understanding. Okay, so I will share what I have, and all of you will also have to share your knowledge with me as well. Okay, all right. So okay, so as you can see over here, basically I'm actually looking at my 15 minutes chart here. I'm looking at my 15 minute charts. Just to be more specific for those who are new, I think most of you are not new. I think you all are all okay. Yeah, basically. As you can see here, we have 1 minute chart, we have 3 minute chart, 5 minutes, and all. This is actually in the Trading View Premium. So we have time frames which is we call as lower time frames and also higher time frames. Don't mind, for those who are experts over here, do not worry. I will definitely go with the analysis, but I'm just actually explaining here to those who are actually very new into this trading. Yeah, so please bear with me. So as you can see, for the shorter time frames, we have shorter time frames. Usually shorter time frames, you always focus on 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, okay, and also 30 minutes. Okay, fine, 30 minutes. Okay, if you want to take it in a shorter time frame, take it in a shorter time frame. Or I would consider 30 minutes is more towards medium. Okay, medium time frame. Okay, for the higher time frames, basically we will always look at 1 hour. We can look at 4 hours. Okay, and we can look at daily, weekly, and monthly. Why didn't I focus on 3 minutes? Why didn't I focus on 45 minutes and all? Because one of the reason is because if you, let's say we are looking at MT5 or we are looking at MT4, we do not have anything related to 3 minutes here, or we do not have anything related to 45 minutes. But if you are looking at TradingView Premium, we do have this here. Okay, so first and foremostly, as you are able to see over here, okay, there are too many things here. There are just too many things over here. So first and foremostly is that I have an extreme X trend here, extreme trend. Okay, I have an extreme trend over here. So what does this particularly this extreme trend does? Okay, as you can see over here, this is the particularly settings here. For those of you who want to use extreme trend, can actually see the settings over here, which I have actually cancelled all of this in the middle for 200 EMA. And this is basically the style, and this is the visibility here. And then just click on OK. All right. And you will have the extreme trend over here. Okay. Yeah. Stay tuned. Okay. This one, okay, this one, you can see this is yellow. Yellow in color. This is yellow in color. And this is white in color. Okay. The one that is yellow basically is showing us an uptrend. Okay, the one is in yellow is showing us an uptrend. When this actually comes in yellow, which means that it will support more towards uptrend. If you can see all your candles over here, once this thing changes from the white to the yellow color, you automatically get a buy. You automatically get a buy. Okay, that's firstly to understand from this extreme trend why I'm actually using this indicator. This indicator can be very helpful for you because why this indicator has a very high accuracy, basically, has a very, very high accuracy. Okay. Okay. Now, what I want to explain to you is that, okay, I'm going for FLI. okay, which is a follow line indicator. Okay, what does follow line indicator basically does? Follow line indicator is something that it follows you. Okay, so it's very important that for us to also have confirmation to what extreme trend is basically doing. Yeah, so when we have a follow line indicator, and let's say it follows us, yeah, or it follows the extreme trend, which means that you will get a double confirmation. Okay, you will basically get a double confirmation of what is the trend basically, yeah, the momentum, yeah, the momentum basically. As you are able to see here, we have blue color, right? If you can see over here, FLI, yeah, try to see here, BB period is 21, BB deviation is 1, and ATR period is 5. Okay, and then just click on, okay, all this is normal, visibility is normal, just click okay. Yeah, okay, if you need the settings, please let me know. Just kindly let me know. And if you can see here, once this extreme trend is going up, you can see that this blue color is also going up, which means that it is supporting very much towards the uptrend. Okay, it is very much supporting towards the uptrend. Okay, so as you are able to see here, okay, we actually want to go for entry. Yeah, you want to go for entry. Okay, I have another thing which is called a UT bot alerts. What does this UT bot alerts does is this. If you see, if I close this UT bot alerts, do you see any difference basically here? You can see that there is no any signal. Okay, there's no any signal. So what happens is that these UT bot alerts actually helps us a lot. Yeah, UT bot alerts actually helps us a lot, where it will actually give you, okay, it will give you the buy signal, okay, where you should go into. Okay, and if you see here, it's a very strong, yeah, it's a very, very strong trend. You have a buy signal, and at the same time, your FRI is also supporting upwards, and your extreme trend is also supporting more towards upwards as well. I hope this is not very confusing. Huh? If you need me to actually close, I will close and I will bring one by one. Okay, I'll just make it a bit easier for all of you to see, so that it won't be very complicated. Huh? Okay, I'll put one by one for all of you. Huh? Okay, all right. Okay, this is much more easier. Hi, Trishul. I think Trishul is having some issues with yeah, Virji, how's things? It's okay. All right, okay, no problem. So as we're able to see here, now I've actually reduced it, as you can see over here. So as you can see also, I also have another one more indicator, which is known as the QQE MT4 glass modified. Okay, so you see 3, this is 5, this is 4.238, and threshold 10, yeah. Okay, and there's no much changes as you can see over here. Okay, and mostly is default, and you just click as okay. So as you can see over here, one good thing about QQE MT4, it is the friend to extreme trend. Okay, QQE MT4 glass modified by Just Uncle is actually a friend to extreme trend. Okay, so when it's a friend to extreme trend, whenever that actually the changes happens here, as you can see over here, when actually that is actually changing to a buy, yeah, at the extreme trend, automatically it already gives us that the changes of the trend is basically going to happen. When you already know the changes of the trend is going to happen, which means that you will have to start to prepare over there. So as you can see, this green color over here is more towards uptrend. This red color over here, it's more towards the downtrend. Okay, provided together with your extreme trend, okay, which you can see over here. Your extreme trend, if it's in white, which means that it's supporting more towards downtrend. Yeah, and when the changes actually happens, okay, when the changes actually happens, and you can see your QQE MT4 is also more towards up, which actually stringent, yeah, which actually stringent your entry for a buy. Okay, so from here actually, I want all of you to understand one thing, because there are possibility when your UT bot alerts is giving you a signal much more earlier. For example, if someone actually plays here and plays here, what is the difference? Let's look it together. I want to actually get, we want to have the best profit ever in the market. That's fine for, all the buy signals. Okay, we have a buy signal, we have a buy signal, we have a buy signal. Okay, let's take it from here. This is a very nice one. Example, if you place a buy over here, up to this point, just imagine that you haven't closed yet. Do you want something like that to happen basically? Of course, yeah, that's very much possible actually. So if you are able to see, first and foremostly, okay, the earlier signal has been given. The earlier signal has been given, which is buy. Okay, and your FLI has actually given you a bomb as well. Okay, okay, if you why I call it as bomb, because it's a bomb. It looks like a bomb actually. Buy is a bomb, and if you are looking at the sell means, that means it's a hammer basically. Okay, that's the term that I use. Okay, let's look at the other one. As you can see here, this is a hammer. When the hammer comes out, which means the sell is basically happening. Sell is basically happening, or you can actually put your entry into sell. Okay, into sell. Okay, so as you are able to see here, your UT bot alerts is already having a buy. Yeah, it's already having a buy supported by this bomb, which is your FLI. Your extreme trend is also supporting more towards buy. Okay, but the thing is that suddenly your UT bot alerts will come up with something that that will tell you to sell suddenly. Okay, something like that happens. So what would you do? Are you going to close the moment when your sell comes up, or are you going to wait until until this particular point? How do we actually differentiate this? Okay, first and foremostly, if let's say you are scalping, okay, as you can see, I'm actually putting at 15 minutes here, 15 minutes. So when you buy over here, you can take your profit once the sell comes out. You can take your profit here. That's enough. Okay, that's really enough for you. Okay, that's really enough. Okay, but we want more profit. We want more profit basically. So what we can do first and foremost, we can see on our FLI, and also we can see on our extreme trend. At the same time, we can also look at our QQE MT4 as well. Okay, so there is something there's something that I want to share. I really want to share actually. Okay, so let's go with something called as ATR stops. Okay, ATR stops. Okay, now you see that when I place the ATR stops, I have actually placed a green color over here. Okay, what does this mean actually by this ATR stops? Sometimes we do not know, like as I told you just now, when we look at sell here, automatically we'll close, right? Correct or not? But if you look at this ATR stops right now, are you able to see something common? What actually happens from this point up to this point? The color that we are having is more supporting towards the green color. Okay, green is basically more towards uptrend. Okay, and red is more towards downtrend. Okay, so which means that these ATR stops helps us when to exit and when not to exit. So as long as for example, if I place a buy, as long as my ATR stop does not change to red color, I can still sustain in the market. That means I don't need to exit earlier. If in case my ATR stops start changing to red color, if there is a slight indication that it's changing to a red color, then I have to be prepared in order to close, or exit from the market. Okay, that means ATR stops is a very, very strong indicator, which means that even though if you buy and suddenly a sell comes out, okay, of course you can take your profit. Okay, if you're not willing to wait for a long time, or you do not have a very high patience, I would suggest you definitely please take at the sell. Okay, so but if you look at your ATR stops, okay, you look at the ATR stop, you look at your FLI, you look at your extreme trend. Okay, so that actually that the trend can continue. The trend can continue. As you are able to see here, I have something to actually explain. If you can see over here, you can see your extreme trend has already changed to white color. Automatically people will get worried. If there is no ATR, people would get worried. Basically, oh, now is the time for me to totally close it, because my extreme trend is already changing towards white, which that person is right. Okay, that person is of course right as well. If you want to close here as well at your extreme trend, it's also a good point for you to close, because you do not know what would happen as well. That's also a good thing. Okay, and at the same time, you see here also a sell is also coming out. So that's a very strong indication in order for you to close as well. But you can see your follow line indicator. Your follow line indicator is still in the buy. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Extreme trend carries a very important role. Extreme trend is the most important thing in order for you to see. Okay, followed by your UT bot alerts. UT bot alerts and extreme trend are very important points for you to see. If you get this point together, like in such a case, then of course you will actually go for your take profit. But as you know, I have ATR stops. So my ATR stops is actually not changing towards red color. And to be very frank, if let's say it's it's not changing to red color, then I'm not afraid to actually hold my position. Yeah, I'm not really afraid to actually hold my position up to this point. And currently, even though if you look at it, yeah, you look at it quite frankly, even my extreme trend is also supporting more towards bullish, and my FLI is also supporting more towards bullish, which is actually helping me for a more higher trend. Okay, so this is one of the benefits, yeah, of actually using this indicator. Okay, so now next I want to show you about Trama Lux Algo. Okay, what does this yellow line basically does? Okay, Trama Lux Algo. Okay, I'm going to use it with, okay, I'm going to use it with resistance and support points. Okay, this is going to make our how to say our analysis more stronger. Okay, I want to bring the resistance. Okay, I want to bring the resistance and also the support points. So let's look at it together. I believe that it's somewhere around here, which I basically set it up. Okay, so RSI strategy, RSI, burning the band strategy, I just close it, moving average, Bichon gone, linear regression, moving average. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Maybe we'll just add it in. Resistance, resistance and support. Support by Lux Algo, I believe. Okay, support and resistance levels with breaks by Lux Algo. So currently, I'm actually adding this up. Okay, so let's see support and resistance by Lux Algo. So as you are able to see over here, what is most important? Most important. Okay, what is really most important? Okay, bear with me. Do not get worried. Okay. Yeah, I want to show it to you. You can see that actually these are all the resistance points. These are all the resistance points which has already been decided. Which has already been decided. Okay, these are all the resistance points which is being decided, and for this basically is the support which is also already been decided. Let me check if let's say it has any particularly settings here. Bear with me. Okay, this one settings 15, 15 and 20, 15, 15 and 20. No breaks, no visibility and all. 15, 15 and 20. Okay, fine. Okay, never mind. We'll go with the default one. No worries. Just go with the default one. Okay. So as we are able to see here, it has actually break here the resistance points as well. Yeah, it has actually break the resistance point, and definitely it will definitely cross here and it will make a new resistance points very soon. Okay, the reason why I'm actually using this, okay, with the yellow line, okay, as you are able to see over here, okay, as you're able to see over here, for the yellow line, basically, yeah, bear with me. Okay, for example, if you can see over here, once the yellow line actually approaches this red color, okay, once this yellow line actually approaches red color, it doesn't have much momentum in order to actually go up anymore. Okay, it doesn't have much momentum in order to go up anymore, which means that actually sometimes this thing means that, you know, when we already set our, how to say, we already set our TP at a previous resistance, or we already set our at the previous spot, for example. So what actually happens, this trauma basically helps us to actually know where we can actually, place our take profit. Okay. Okay. It helps us here. It helps us for our take profit. And at the same time, it can also helps us for our entry as well. If you realize one thing, once this actually has a slight curve, if you just look at the yellow color over here, you can see that a cell has already been provided here. Okay, let's look at some of it here. You can see actually that the momentum here, the momentum at this area is very, very low. Okay, until there was a new momentum here. There was a new momentum. Okay, where it crosses here, it crosses the resistance point. Okay, it crosses the resistance points. Okay, and it starts giving us a much higher momentum. Okay, it starts giving us a more higher momentum. Okay, so if you look at this yellow line, okay, it is very important for you to know the momentum, because sometimes when the candles are actually starting to actually weaken or anything, sometimes we wouldn't know actually. Yeah, we wouldn't know if there is any support and resistance. Okay, there's any particularly support and resistance previously which we can look into, but in this case actually it has actually suppressed. It has actually suppressed the previous resistance point. Okay, which means that it will create another resistance point. So for this, actually, what we will have to do, we will have to see how long that this candle, okay, this yellow candle can actually sustain before it will actually change its direction. Okay, so that's how actually we use for the trauma, and also how we use for the support and also the resistance. Okay, if there's any question, please kindly ask me. Yeah? Please do ask me, because I can repeat it once again. Yeah, I can repeat this once again, no problem. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, because most of the indicators here, they are a bit, there are too many indicators, so we will have to understand it one by one actually. Okay, another thing I want to touch here is basically on the EMA 200. Okay, EMA 200. So what does EMA 200 basically does? Okay, EMA 200 is a very important thing here. Okay, you have to change the length to 200. Okay, source is closed, and you can just click OK. All right, EMA 200 will actually tell you that whether it's actually in the buy trend or whether it is actually in the sell trend. Okay, so of course, when you actually go towards buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, you will have a lot of buy sells. But if you see, okay, if you see based on your moving average, okay, as long as it's above the moving average 200, which means that it is supporting more towards the upper trend. The moment if it breaks the moving average 200, we will know that it's a very strong trend. Then it's actually going towards sell. Yeah, basically, yeah. Moving average 200 is very good if, let's say, you're trading for a very long time, for a very long period of time. Okay, so this is also a very strong indication, because if in case, yeah, you actually as you are able to see here, as we know, we were very much actually below. Okay, we were very much below the moving average. So we know it was more towards the downtrend actually. But if you see one thing, if it's already crossing the moving average 200, okay, and then he just have a back test. Yeah, he just have a retest. Okay, and if you can see one thing, that it was actually testing at the moving average as well. Okay, it's testing at a moving average as well, or at the previous resistance point, and automatically it keeps going up. Yeah, it keeps going up. So it's very, so moving average 200 actually really helps a lot. But it's just that before you go for an entry, always wait for retracement. Yeah, for retracement. And retracement basically is very good for you to actually actually wait for moving average 200. Yeah. For in this particular case, if let's say you want to enter a trade, basically there are very much possibility that we can have something like, that it will come back to the moving average 200 and everything. But as I have also said previously, that it is very important for us to also check on what our extreme trend is doing, what our FLI trend is doing and what our ATR is also doing. Yeah, and also most importantly is to check on what our trauma. Yeah, this trauma line is very important for the momentum of the particular candle. So as we can see here, we can see now trauma, all the candles are like that. So we can see that the momentum to actually go up back is very low already, because you can see that there is a curve. Okay, there is a particularly a curve. Okay, there's a particular curve over here. So which means that likely we will have something that where the, how to say, where the price is likely to drop also. Okay, a little bit, a little bit. Okay, but we can see that it has not crosses, it has never crossed the trauma yet. So we have to see how it goes from here on at 15 minutes. Okay, so other than that, if you're using a linear regression, if you want to use a linear regression, it's also good. If you don't use a linear regression, it's also fine. Yeah, but linear regression sometimes can help also. If in case you want to know like how is it here more supporting towards here, whether the trend would be more towards upwards or is more towards downtrend lah. So as you can see, the combination of linear regression and moving average is very strong. Moving average 200 is very strong, where it's actually supporting more towards the uptrend. Okay. So what else? What else? Okay. So another thing about Elliott wave, I wouldn't touch on Elliott wave, but since sometimes we do not know, okay, we do not know how far the retracement would happen. Okay, so as you can see over here, I placed something which is named as the Elliott wave. As everybody knows here about Elliott wave is that usually it can give you the probability of the market retracement. Okay, market retracement. So as we are able to see here, the probability of it to actually retrace here, since it's actually completing at the number 5, we can see that it has a possibility to retrace back to A, and A, okay, which would be at 0.382, 0.5, 0.618. Okay, this is just the probability, basically, okay. So did you use default setting for all indicator? Not all actually, Ilma, not all actually. Only I believe for extreme trend, I did some changes. For extreme trend, I did some changes. I cancelled the 200 EMA, the shapes, I don't have the shapes here. And that's all. And I also changed the color, basically. I changed the color for the extreme trend. I think that's what I did. And for QQE, I think for QQE also, I did some changes. You can see here, for QQE is 3, 5, 4.238 and 10. I think these are the ones here that I basically did the default settings. Yeah. These two indicators is the one that I did the default settings, but for the others, I just it is completely default. And for EMA, EMA, of course, EMA, we just have to change it to 200. Yeah, that's it. Only 3 of these. Yeah, I only change 3 of these for the settings, and others are all basically in default. Yeah. So I use this particular way because it will help. It will help a lot. Thank you, sir. You most welcome. You most welcome. I use this particular way and I play with indicators because it is very much likely to help. Because just now, for example, if I know that trend is going up, without having Elliott wave, I would definitely think, it's going to go up. So if I'm going to give a signal, basically, so of course, I will look at the previous, at the previous resistance point that I have. Yeah, most, I'll try to find where is the nearest, where's the nearest resistance point, but the nearest one is here, which it has definitely crossed. It's likely to have crossed. Let us put something here. Okay, let us take something. Put a horizontal line over here for the previous resistance point. So let's go and see it together. What actually happens? It has basically also crossed the previous resistance points. Yeah, it's also crossed the previous resistance point. Okay. Okay, so it is going to create a new resistance point basically, which we do not know, which we do not know where. Okay, which we will have to wait and see, which we'll have to wait and see together. But as per our understanding, okay, as per our understanding, our ATR is still towards bullish, and we know the retracement is likely to happen at around this area. Okay, which is definitely supporting more towards this particular resistance point. Yeah? Okay, this is the most lowest, but it does not actually reach the resistance point at all. Yeah, which means that it is just at the 0.618. Okay, so if in case, if let's say right now, I want to actually put a signal, for example, of course, I will definitely go for a sell, but I would still, consider to see many other things, many other things as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use Bijoko. Okay, okay, this one I'm going to delete it. Okay, as you see, when I add Bijoko, key levels. Okay, it's this BJ key levels. Okay, try to see all the settings here. These are all the settings. Okay, it's also default, not to worry. In case it's not default, we will, you can tell me later on. Style, style is all the same. Visibility, and then just click OK. Okay, what does this actually have is basically it already give you all the key levels. They already give you the key levels of where it would retrace, where it would likely to retrace. As you can see here, the possibility for it to retrace up to this point is very high also. Yeah, up to this point in the 15 minutes. I'm looking at the 15 minutes. So these are all the key points. Okay. All right. But of course, if you want to be safer, if you want to be safe, of course, we will take the most nearest one because we want to earn profit, right? Correct. We want to be safe. Unless if it's going here and everything, and if we from our elite wave that is basically going to go up, of course, we'll wait until this particular job. You can see over here, it's almost there. See the point that I'm actually placing. If I take my horizontal line and I just place it here, see it's almost this is the most lowest almost here, okay, at this Bijong key levels, if you see. Okay, so from here on, if let's say the price is actually retracing here back, so of course the price is going to go up back. Okay, but if in case if it retrace back, it has the possibility to go back here. It has the possibility to go back here and also here as well. Okay, so but in case if you already have the high probability that it will retrace here, so of course we will wait for the retracement before we want to place our buy or our buy basically for buy. So as we know currently, we look at our Trama. Just now why I talk about Trama, because Trama is basically focusing more towards momentum. Okay, so let's look at what our Trama is basically doing. So it is still above our Trama basically. And as we can see that it is more, our ATR is also supporting more towards uptrend. And everything is supporting still towards uptrend. It's still supporting towards uptrend. Okay. So, okay, now we are looking at 15 minutes. Let's go and look at 5 minutes instead. Okay. Let's look at 5 minutes. What actually happens in 5 minutes? Okay. So as we can see in 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes is showing us changes. It's actually showing us the changes, and there is a buy indication that is likely to be given at the 5 minute. Okay, but we will have to be very careful because we have to look at what our extreme trend is doing, what our trauma is also doing, okay, and at the same time what our FLI is also doing basically, okay. All right, so be very, very careful. 5 minutes, 15 minutes. More towards buy, more towards buy. Last retracement point. Not to worry, guys. Okay. Let's go for our 1 hour. Let's go for our 1 hour and see here. Okay, for our 1 hour, basically, as we're able to see over here, a higher likely retracement would happen here as well. It's more supporting towards uptrend as well. All is more towards uptrend. It's more towards uptrend. So let's go with 4 hours. Some of you who are new actually thinking why I'm looking at the higher time frames. For 4 hours is basically because when I'm looking at the higher time frames, which means that it's actually each one candle is actually referring to 4 hours. Yeah, so the bigger time frame will actually give me what actually happens for a longer time period. So like for example, if I'm looking at 4 hours, I know that every 4 hours the trend has been higher. So when I look at the shorter time frame actually is just a smaller time frame only. So that means it just shows me what actually happens currently that will change the direction of the bigger time frames basically. Yeah. Okay, so as I can see here, there's also likely to be a retracement as well. Okay, so what we need to do is that, okay, we look at 4 hours, and if we go to daily, let's go for daily as well. Okay, if we go for daily, we have 5 and likely to retrace at this particular point as well. Okay, but however, I place it to the previous resistance point. Okay, so in this case, your QQE empty and so many other things here. Okay, so what I am going to do is this. Let's see where your moving average is. Your moving average is still above, huh? It's 200 MA. This is MA, but this is MA5. You cancel your MA5, huh? And only use EMA 200. Okay, 5, and retracement. Last retracement should be here. Okay, there's no any changes. There's no particularly any changes. So which means that I still have to support more towards. If changes is likely to happen, then we will have to wait for 5 minutes. Okay, we'll have to wait for 5 minutes. Are you guys with me, guys? If there's anything, please let me know. I'm actually finding a signal for us to enter. Okay, I'm finding a signal for us to enter so that, we can actually enter together. But before I enter, I have to ensure that, it's meeting all the requirements. This means that it's particularly is changing. It's changing its direction from sell and likely is going to buy. But it's likely to also retrace first. So 15 minutes. 15 minutes, check at 15 minutes what happens. Okay, this thing, trauma and fundamental analysis is also supporting more towards buyer, basically. Fundamental analysis is also supporting us more towards buy. Okay, ATR is also supporting more towards buy. Likely retracement is to happen around this particular area. Okay, most to most, I'll take it at the Bijom key level. Okay, let's go 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes. I'll use the 5 minutes time frame to enter. Okay, I use the time frame for 5 minutes to enter. Okay, possible retracement to happen around this area. What I will do right now is that let's okay, sell is a bit weaker. Okay, extreme trend is supporting more towards sell. The FLI is supporting more towards the blue color. Okay, changes is likely to happen. Okay, and there is only here one sell. Okay, and it has not actually crossed the moving average 200, I believe. Possible for it to retrace. Yeah, just bear with me. Moving average 200 is over here, which means that it's more towards, it's still over the towards the buy. Okay. Try seeing what happens. Let's say if somebody is entering right now. Okay, if let's say someone enters, okay, I'm going to take the risk. Okay, let me try. Even though I know my ATR, even though I am not looking at my ATR currently, I did look at my extreme trend. I know that changes is going to happen. Okay, I want to see based on the Elliott wave retracement. Okay, which means that currently if I enter a sell over here and I'm going to place my take profit at 1869.348. Let's try it together. Well, you don't have to try it. Okay, this is completely in me basically, but if you like to, yeah, you can try it as well. We'll see together. If it retraces back to the Bijom key levels. So if any one of you are with me, okay, I'm going to go for a trade right now. Okay. Okay, XAU USD. Oh, it seems like it's okay. XAU USD. XAU USD. Yeah, you guys can go for sell also. You can see what's happening. Basically, XAU USD. I'm going for new order. Okay, I'm just going to sell at 1. I'm going to place my TP, my take profit. I know that likely the retracement will be much more lower, but I'm going to place my retracement at my take profit at 1869.58. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm selling right now and I'm placing my take profit at 1869.58. I've done it. I've already done it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for it to retrace at this particular price. Okay, so if any one of you want to try with me, please kindly use 0.01. Okay, and we will try to see because why our Elliott wave basically give us a more lower retracement level. Okay, so likely, okay, there are possibility that it can drop. And at the same time, if we look at our trauma, we look at a trauma, our trauma is already above and the momentum is very low. Okay, and it's likely when we look at this particular QQE also, it's actually quite quite weak as well. So guys, please so those of you who want to enter, okay, I actually place it very low, but if you are very afraid, then take it at this particular point. Okay, if any one of you are very afraid, then take it at this previous resistance point. There's another number that I'm going to give to all of you right now, which is at 1870.76. Enter with me, guys. Okay, so guys, we are going to see what is going to happen from here to here. Okay, we're going to see what is going to happen from here to here. So that means likely how many pips that you can earn. If I'm taking from here to here, okay, you can have about 63 pips. Yeah, 63 pips. Yeah. If you're going down here, then you can have about 73 or 76 pips. Okay. So let's hope that, we have a good day today, even though, we're focusing more towards a buy for our fundamental analysis. So I've actually placed a sell over here. Okay. So this would be my signal for today. Based on the extreme trend. Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. Okay. Okay, so if you are very afraid, please kindly change it to 1870.73. 1870.73. 1870.73. Okay, I've modified that. Okay, take it at the most lowest here. Who is following me basically? Who is actually following me? Have you actually placed a sell right now at the 5 minutes? Okay, we'll wait for it to retrace basically at that particular point. Okay. So, okay, let's see. Let's see together. Yeah, it will take time. It will really take time. So my signals is okay. Tell it sell. Sell USD. Sell XAU USD and TP at 1870.74. Are you guys with me? Please type in if all of you are with me. If you are if you all are with me, please let me know because I was looking into signals. So yeah, guys, Yeah, you guys are with me, yeah? Okay, let's look at it together. Yeah, let's look at it together. What happens? Okay, since we have some time, we'll wait for 5 minutes. We just look at 5 minutes, what's happening roughly in the craft. Okay, and try to also see what actually if in case I feel that you need a stop loss, then I will let you know as well. So whoever who joins our education class, they will be able to get some signals. We'll see it together. Because if we look at our elite wave, the retracement level is much more lower actually, and there are many beyond key levels as well, which is actually below. So I'm expecting before it actually goes up according to its trend. So what will happen is that likely, it has the possibility to even retrace down. But what we did is actually we are just taking the minimum take profit only. Yeah, we are only taking the minimum take profit, which will only be at this area. So which means that it also complies with the previous year, with the previous resistance point as well. So that means that what we are actually asking from the market is not much actually for us. So very much possible for it to actually retrace that. Okay. And in case if somebody asking me where should you actually place your stop loss and everything, regarding a stop loss, basically we can wait for the trauma. Anywhere above the trauma, we can actually place our stop loss. Yeah. So, but however, it's okay, not to worry. I believe it can retrace to this point. Yeah, so we will get around 61 pips, hopefully. Okay, so okay, as we see, our QQE also at the 5 minutes has actually changed here towards the sell mode as well. Yeah. So as we can see, it has actually changed to the sell mode. Okay, so okay, let's let's go with it. Takes time, not to worry. See now suddenly it changes, it changes a little bit. Okay, let's go to 1 hour and see what happens. Let's go at 1 hour and see what actually happens. Okay, all shows us here, or all shows us like it's very, very, very high, but based on elite wave, it's actually coming down. It will come down to actually retrace. And we can see at 1 hour also our trauma is a bit slightly, towards here as well. More towards the curve here, more towards curve. Okay, not to worry. So it takes time. For hours, retracement, likely retracement here. Stability is there. 1 minute, let's see. Let's look at what happens in 1 minute. Even though they give us such a, a buy thing and everything, but that's just, but you have to know one thing, that UT bot alerts in 1 minute is very, very, it's a very, very, it can happen, yeah. It can happen occurrently, yeah. That means it can happen many times, basically. So not to worry, yeah. Okay, let's look at 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, let's wait and see. Okay, is there any questions basically to all of you? Basically, what we are actually doing today is that we are playing more towards retracement, playing more towards retracement. So we know that today actually we are more supporting towards bullish, but for this actually we are just finding for the point that where it is likely to retrace, and then automatically we will actually go with the current trend, which is more towards bullish actually, more towards bullish. Okay, so let's look together. Let's relax and let's see. It takes time, and no problem. This is completely scalping, guys. This is completely scalping. Nothing to do with intraday, guys. Okay. So we are hoping, we are hoping for the best. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see what happens. So do you have any questions basically for me? If you have any questions for me, please do let me know. The further updates I will be giving in the group, basically for this particular signal. This is the signal that I also personally have placed. Yeah. So we will see. Yeah? We will see what happens. Yeah, what happens, and later on, if anything, I'll just let know in the group as well. Okay. QQE, MT, QQE, MT is actually changing its trend. And if you're looking at the trauma is actually lower. And if we look at FLI is, of course, but FLI has the possibility to change. Okay. Possibility to change as well. Okay. Last Bijon key levels at the 5-minute Bijon key levels. Yes, I just took above the Bijon key levels actually. Yeah, I took above the Bijon key levels. So by right, shouldn't be an issue. Did I accidentally just, just cancel the Bijon key levels? I think I just, just removed it accidentally from my hands. Okay. All right. Is there any question once again for all of you? If there's any question, please kindly let me know. Yeah. I'll wait for another 5 minutes to just see how this is going. Just to keep the safety. And for Ilma, are you actually in our Telegram group? Okay, wait, let me just provide you our Telegram group as well, so that you will be able to actually, join us. Yeah, able to join us. So, okay, so I'll be, so it's, please kindly join us. We can discuss a lot over there. Okay. And discuss a lot over there, and it's a very open group actually. You can ask almost anything. Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, as long as it's it's appropriate and related to trade. Yeah. So if even if you are a beginner, you are intermediate, or you are an advanced trader, yeah, please feel free, yeah, to actually give your opinions. We are very much open in that group basically. So very soon, very soon I will be posting more signals and everything. But I prefer to actually post signals after the educational content, yeah, which is our classes from 10:30 to 11:30. So we just wait and see. Just wait and see. Okay, just wait and see. ATR, ATR, and then what else? What else? What else? Okay, for this particular ATR, basically, it's just about telling you that, that how, whether you should exit the market or you should not exit the market. If let's say, for example, if you had a buy trade, yeah, if you have a buy trade previously, so what happens is that sometimes you do not know whether you want to keep actually earning money or you don't want to keep earning money or what. So ATR basically can actually give you the, how to say, the possibility, yeah, of it actually going more up. Yeah. But however, if let's say if you are looking towards entering, and everything, so it's very important for you to actually look at what your extreme trend is doing. Okay, because your extreme trend is the first point basically. And also you look at what your QQE MT4 is doing at the same time with what your FLI is doing. But if you see in terms of the importance here of the in terms of the extreme trend, and also in terms of the importance of FLI, the extreme trend is the first point that we can look into. So that means if something like this is basically happening, which means that your FLI will be changing very soon as well. So maybe for now, you will see that you have slight, you have a slight floating. But however, because as you see based on your elite wave as well, the retracement level is really very, very low. Yeah. So what happens is that usually if I'm looking at this particular thing based on my ATR, I can still go for a buy basically. But however, today I actually went against a little bit. So which means that I actually place a sell. So likely if I look at here also, it's already changing to sell already. So our QQE is also supporting. So maybe higher chances lead that it will definitely actually retrace, yeah, to our point basically. Yeah, we just have to wait. Yeah, we just have to wait. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. So other than that, basically, I want to say something. For example, we have classes always here from between 10:30 to 11:30, but sometimes it's more than the hours basically. So at times, if let's say if you have any friends who would like to have a free education, they can also join us basically on our how to say on our free education class as well. Because this how to say this education is totally free, and anyone can actually learn how to trade, how to have basic trade. Even though if in case if they do not have an account with well trade, we totally welcome them, yeah, to actually learn from us. And later on, we can provide you the bonuses that we have in our well trade. So whenever you feel that you want to actually invest, you can actually invest with us. Okay, so usually well trade, they provide 100% bonus, yeah, for every deposit. And also we are actually also having for redeposit as well. If let's say you redeposit, you will be getting 30% of your money basically, yeah. So that's one of the best thing you can get at well trade basically. So you can see here, you can really see here, if in case that if you have a better equity, which means that you can actually trade, you can trade with more lots and everything. But however, do maintain, yeah, with your lot management for your risk management as well. Yeah. So okay, let's see what happens. It's going slightly up, but it's okay. No worries. Okay, so I'll wait for another 2 more minutes in case, if it's not really, it's really not coming up as soon as coming down as soon as possible. So I will be speaking directly in the education group. Yeah. Okay, I will be speaking directly in the education group, and then we will be able to actually discuss more. Yeah. Okay, and if there's any particularly stop loss, okay, that I find, okay, or is hitting anywhere, I will immediately inform in the group as well. Okay, but for now, I think it's totally okay. So there's nothing to be worried. Okay, so we go for the sell. Okay, once again, I repeat myself. We go for the sell and we take our profit at 1870.74. 1870.73. Yeah, it's 73. Okay, 73. All right. Okay, just wait, just relax. Yeah, just come down. So Irma, have you joined the group basically for the Telegram? Done, sir. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's good. That's good. No worries. No worries. Is there any particularly technique that you all are using basically? I mean, like for trading, or maybe you all like something like moving average, or you all like something like different kind of indicators, maybe? Mind sharing with me? Maybe Ilma or Madam Lily. If you do have any indicators that you're using basically, and it's very helpful for trade, you can actually also suggest. Yeah. because that will actually also strengthen, yeah, our analysis basically. Since you all are actually in the group, yeah, I will be holding your hands on this trade. Not to worry, yeah, not to worry, guys. I'll be holding your hands on this trade. So, okay, I'm with all of you. So, no questions, no questions for me. Ilma has joined. Okay. All right, guys. If let's say there's nothing for now, then I will end our session for today. Not to worry, any further updates, I will let you all know in the group. And if let's say there's a new TP that I got, actually, I will also inform it immediately in the group as well. Okay, because this is something that we are doing related to scalping. So which means that scalping is something that we cannot be very long actually in the market. Yeah. And as we know, for the longer term trend is definitely actually supporting more towards bullish. Yeah. So not to worry, not to really worry. I believe that, possibility, yeah, we are actually looking at possibility. So I only took at the minimum take profit only. I didn't take at, at below here, because I believe that it would be completely ridiculous to actually go for really a very long retracement. Basically, as I know the trend is more towards bullish, but I have a sense here. We can have a sense that it is possible here for it to actually retrace here at this particular point, and it has also been the previous resistance, yeah, as well, yeah. So which means that it is likely, yeah, there are possibility for it to retrace at this particular key level. Okay, all right, and as also we can see over here, based on our trauma, we do have, yeah, we do have our how to say, less, yeah, less of the impact, yeah, on momentum basically, yeah, which we'll definitely look into this, yeah, not to worry, yeah, and we will see, yeah, what actually goes in our market. Okay, all right, okay, thank you, okay, you're most welcome. May all of you have a good day. Okay, not to worry, we'll see you all by tomorrow. Okay, see you guys, bye bye, and take care. Okay, most welcome. Bye guys, see you all.